Welcome everyone. Let's continue chapter 6, that is forms of market structure. I have already discussed the concept of market, the various factors which are affecting the market structure, the nature and structure of market. Today I'll be just discussing regarding the structure, the various classification of markets, under which we will discuss about the perfectly competitive market, its features, then the monopoly market and its features, and the meaning of monopolistic market. So let's begin. So the market is classified into 4 major categories. First is perfectly competitive market, second is monopoly market, third is monopolistically competitive market, and the fourth is monopsony. For monopsony, we will only go through the meaning of monopsony form of market. Perfectly competitive market. In a perfect competition, there are large number of producers producing a homogeneous product. What is homogeneous product? A similar kind of product, so that no individual firm can influence the price of the commodity. In this type of market, price is determined by the 2 market forces, that is demand and supply. The intersection of the market demand curve and the market supply curve determines the equilibrium price. So what is equilibrium price? The price at which market demand is equal to the market supply. That means when demand is equal to supply, it is a state of equilibrium, and the price at which the market demand and market supply becomes equal, that price is known as equilibrium price. A perfectly competitive firm is such a small part of the total industry in which it operates that it cannot influence the price of the product. The firm has no control over the product price. That means a firm in this kind of market structure is a price taker. An individual firm take the price as given, and he has to take decision about the amount of output to be sold at that price. So here the work of a competitive firm is that they will take in the price and they will decide how much amount of commodity to be sold in that particular price. This means that each firm in the industry is a price taker rather than a price maker. Why? Because there exist number of firms. Each firm takes price as given, something that is determined outside the individual firm. On to the features of perfectly competitive market. First is large number of buyers and sellers. There are large number of buyers and sellers of the commodity under this competitive market structure. Each of them is so small relative to the market that it cannot exert any influence on the price of the product. This means that the firm under perfect competition produces such a small part of the total market output that a change in its output will not have any noticeable effect on the market supply. Hence, on the price, likewise, an individual buyer buys such a small quantity of the total output of the product that any change in the quantity demanded by it has negligible impact. So you need to only focus on these points, that there are large number of buyers and sellers in this type of competition or competitive market. The firm under perfectly competitive market is a price taker. He doesn't have any influence in the price, only he decides how much commodity is to be sold at that particular price. And price is always decided according to the market forces of demand and supply. Second is homogeneous product. All the firms under perfect competition produce homogeneous or perfectly standardized commodity. The homogeneity of the product implies that there is no difference in the physical characteristics, that is color, size, chemical component of the commodity, etc. And also the environmental factors, that is location of the sellers, credit facilities, etc. This means that the product sold by each firm is in a perfectly competitive industry is a perfect substitute for the product sold by the other firm. The implication of this characteristics is that a uniform price of the product will rule throughout the market. No firm has any basis of charging higher price for its product. Third is freedom of entry and exit. Perfect competition is characterized by the freedom of entry and exit. This means that a new firm can enter the industry and the existing firm are free to leave the industry if, as and when they desire. There are no legal or man-made restrictions on the entry or exit of the firm from the industry. The condition of free entry or exit ensures that all the firm under perfect competition end up earning only normal profit in the long run. If the existing firm are earning supernormal profit, new firm will enter the industry and increase the total supply of the product. This would reduce the market price and wipe out the supernormal profit. If, on the other hand, if the firm is incurring a loss, some of them would start leaving the industry, leading to decrease in the supply and thereby a rise in the price till the losses are wiped out. Next feature of this market is perfect mobility of resources. Another important characteristic feature of perfect competition is that resources or factors of production, that is land, labor and capital, are perfectly mobile. This means that factors of production can enter or leave a firm or the industry at will. This implies that resources can move from one use to another without any restriction. Firms can enter into or exit from the industry only when resources can freely move from one use to another. Fifth feature is perfect knowledge of market condition. Consumers, producers and owners of factor services in a perfectly competitive market have perfect knowledge about the market condition. Every producer knows the price prevailing in the market, and he or she will not sell the commodity at a price below the market price. Similarly, each buyer has perfect knowledge about the prevailing price and the quality of the product. So, each buyer is not prepared to pay higher price than the price prevailing in the market. So, we will take it from both the sides. Perfect knowledge on the part of producer and consumer would ensure that a single price prevails in the market. Sixth and the last feature is absence of transport cost. Another feature of perfect competition is that buyers and sellers incur no transport cost in purchasing and selling goods. This assumption is necessary to ensure uniform price throughout the market. Otherwise, prices of identical goods may differ. Just read till here. So I'll get back to you in the next class. Thank you for today. Have a nice day ahead.